It is one of the most storied golf tournaments in the world at perhaps one of the most majestic golf courses in the world. Augusta National, of course, just wrapped up another Masters tournament. And while all eyes were on Tiger Woods for him to roar back after a major car accident, it was, alas, at the end, Scotty Scheffler that donned the green jacket. And our very own John McCarthy was there for the sun, covering every turn, every sigh on Amen Corner. And of course, only a select few do actually get to play the Augusta National Course. And he was one of them. So, John, the Tiger Woods story was just that he did end up playing, but not winning.
Yes, I'm still trying to wipe the smile off my own face from playing the golf course. But yeah, Tiger Woods, it was a victory just to play, which is very rare for Tiger, who basically only counts, real victories as victories. But you could tell this week he was happy just to be there and happy to get through 4 rounds. And he had a first round where a really good first round. He beat a lot of players. I mean, he made the cut, and guys like Xander Schauffele, Jordan Spieth, Bryson DeChambeau all missed the cut. It was a very, very difficult week there, and it's amazing what he accomplished.
I don't think that people quite they think of golf and they think, oh, these guys are just walking around hitting a few balls. It's not that arduous. But perhaps when you are someone like Tiger Woods, who just went through major constructive surgery on his leg, his ankle, and all of that, it's a grueling course because you have to walk it. You don't get the John Daly exemption and get driven around in a golf cart. So just that, by virtue of the fact that he was able to physically do it, was pretty extraordinary.
No, it was. I mean, before the car accident, he'd had, 4 back surgeries, 4 knee surgeries, a blown Achilles tendon, and then he had about a 50-50 chance of having part of that leg amputated 14 months ago. So it's incredible to get back. And you could really tell, especially by Sunday, how bad the leg was feeling. The limp was much more pronounced. And then when he finally, tapped in or made the little putt to finish on 18, he got the standing ovation. That you could see as he walked out that the limp it was sort of worse and worse. He was sort of letting it, finally not fighting it, I guess. And then he gave his post-round interview, and he had a hard time getting off the 1-foot podium that he was standing on. And an Augusta member in a green jacket put his arm out for him, and Tiger wanted nothing to do with any help getting down. But you could really tell that however bad it looked out there, it was feeling much, much worse for him. And the crowd gave him a great, ovation. And the love for Tiger, it has grown. It's funny. This is a guy who was the most famous man in the world maybe 20 years ago. And if anything, he's more popular today than he was then.
John, I'm wondering what it's like for the other golfers, because we know that Tiger Woods drives up ratings, which drives up revenue, which drives up interest in a sport such as golf. But for a guy like Scotty Scheffler, who did end up winning the green jacket on Sunday, he has now the fame and the fortune, certainly with being a Masters winner, and so do many others. But what is it like for the other golfers when the narrative is really all about Tiger?
Yeah, it's hard to say because he's such a unique case where in most times they don't really want to talk about other players. Golf's a very individual sport. You kind of have to be that type of person to excel in it. But with Tiger, it did seem a bit different. I mean, the guys were open to talking about it. They have a lot of gratitude for where he's brought the game of golf. And so a lot of these guys, grew up idolizing Tiger. So there was interest from the players as well. And there's, of course, once Thursday starts, these guys want nothing more than to perform themselves. But there is more. They're more willing to talk about Tiger than they would be, any other player in the field. That's for sure.
Well, as you covered every chip and putt for our Sun readers, you were one of the privileged few that got the opportunity to actually play the golf course yourself. Augusta National, as I said before, is majestic, it's storied, and maybe some of our viewers don't know this, but you are one heck of a golfer yourself. But a course such as Augusta National can even make the best fall to their knees. So how did you fare?
Well, I won the media lottery, and I found out Friday afternoon. So it was very hard to get through the weekend of trying to do my job while thinking in the back of my mind that I'm going to have to hit a tee shot on the first tee at Augusta on Monday morning. It was unbelievable, everything you could hope for. They gave us a locker for the day in the champions locker room. So I was up there and I was trying to make sure I made it to the first tee. I played as well as I could possibly play on the front nine. The course is so hard, but I played awesome on the front nine. The shots you need out there, it's all around the greens. It's little touch wedges over bunkers that are going to land soft, and it's almost impossible. And once you start hitting a few not right, then the confidence goes away around the greens, and they are the course it's as beautiful as it looks on television. It's the greens were obviously the fastest, hardest greens I've ever played, and the front nine went well, the back nine not so great.
So what did you end up shooting?
Okay, well, let's start with the front nine. I made 2 birdies on the front nine. I shot 39 on the front with 2 birdies, and then I think I panicked when I saw a 39 on the scorecard. And I lost my approach shot on 10 into the woods. So that was a penalty and a re-hit and a triple bogey. I hit a ball in the water on 12. I bladed a lob wedge into the water on 15 and made another triple there. And I made a lot of great shots on the back nine, but I held on for a 48 on the back for an 87 at Augusta National. I'm a 7 handicap, and I was happy with an 87. And I'll always have that front nine to think about for the rest of my life.
Well, I golfed with you before, John, and I've always said, you're ready for the tour nonetheless. But I want to ask you about, even for those that are not golf fans, but they do tune in to watch, particularly Tiger Woods, they always hear about Amen Corner. You played it. Is it as brutal and vicious as it's made out to be?
So the thing with Amen Corner is, it's so famous. The holes are incredibly designed, but they're designed that you can really score well there, or you can have a disaster there. That's what makes it so interesting. 11 is a brute for sure, and I did exactly what a little worse than the guys do, but the same. I was in the middle of the fairway, but it's so hard to aim at that green because the water is left, so I bailed out right, and that was my first chunk chip of the day. I made a double on 11, and that's when you start missing your chips around there, it really gets in your head. And then on 12, I hit it into the water at the famous par 3 12, but I dropped it to 50 yards out. The caddy says, "Where do you like?" Because you can drop it basically anywhere back from the pin to where it went in the water. I dropped from 50 yards, and I got up and down for a bogey after hitting it in the water, so that was amazing. And then on 13, I hit my drive in the only spot you can hit it, which is left of the creek. I punched it out. I hit a 5-wood to the back bunker, and I made a par from left of the creek on 13, which is maybe the greatest par I've ever made in my life. So Amen Corner actually went okay for me, even though I had a double bogey, a bogey, and a par. But I left 13 feeling very happy with it. Again, the day was incredible, and just being in that champions locker room. I shared the locker I had was Claude Harmon and Tom Watson's locker.
Wow. Well, we know that you only can take a mental image of it, because otherwise we'd be showing all your selfies of you down on the course. But Augusta has very specific and quite rigid rules. Was that tough to navigate? I mean, I certainly know the pros are used to it, and there's probably been a few violations in the past, but there's a rigidity. I mean, golf is all about rules, there's no question. But Augusta seems to be a next level.
It is. And there is people that have maybe a problem with the strict rules there, but the way I look at it, to get something that perfect and that beautiful, it's like the same philosophy that they made that course what it is the same philosophy they put into these rules. So you can't, in my mind, you can't have a course like that without without those rules. So I'm okay with them. I was going to follow anything they told me. And it's also, once you're in there, they treat you great. I mean, for the patrons there, they get $4 beers are $4, and hot dogs. I didn't really look, but they're like $2 or something. So they're not out gouging you, and everyone you talk to is very helpful. They just have rules like no cell phones in there, and you're expected to follow them. But if you do, it's like paradise in there. It's funny, the no cell phones though. I went to try and look for a point and shoot camera when I found out I was playing, because I knew I couldn't bring my cell phone in. No point and shoot cameras at Walmart, Target, or Best Buy, because they were all sold out, I think, by spectators who didn't know the rules and got turned around at the gates and went looking for a camera. But on a whole, I'm okay with the rules. Golf, it's a private club. They're inviting us in there. They don't have to hold this tournament. They don't have to let guys like me play the course. So I look at it as it's a private course. They can make their rules, and if they invite you in, you just better follow them.
Well, John, we're going to rustle up a nice green jacket for you so you can wear it with a big sun logo to commemorate such an exciting time. It is such a rare opportunity to play a golf course such as that. Well, how about you, viewer? What do you think? Is somewhere like Augusta somewhere you'd like to play, or is it all just overblown? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.